Hello and welcome to the DAPPCAST. My name is Bryan. This is episode 9. Today we are joined by the blockchain beast himself, Max from Digital Scarcity. How you doing, Max?
Great. It's great to be here.
So one question I always ask people is, one, how did you get into crypto? And two, how did you get into EOS?
Gosh, I've been in blockchain for a few years now. I wasn't part of the crowd that got in super early, but I've been a technologist my whole career, software engineer, and I used to always buy small pieces of gold and silver just with each paycheck, just small little physical pieces. And I don't know why, maybe for the apocalypse or something like that, but it was just something I did. And then Bitcoin came around. I started hearing about that, and so I decided to just buy small little chunks of that. I wish I would have bought a lot more, obviously.
Yeah.
So that's what got me into Bitcoin originally. And then I would say about 2 years, maybe a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, I learned about Ethereum, and that's really when the light bulb started going off. And really started to understand, okay, this can really have a major impact, disrupt a lot of industries. So that's when I really started diving deep, created a meetup, started interacting with a lot of people in my local community, but also online. I taught some Ethereum courses for a while.
Right.
And then in March or so, I've been working as a blockchain engineer for about a year. And then in March, I learned about EOS, and it really solved all the problems that I've run across with Ethereum. The usability aspects, the free transactions, of not having to own currency, cryptocurrency to use the applications, and of course the speed is amazing. And even the language itself, having access to all the existing C++ libraries, just makes a developer's life that much easier. So it was pretty short after that I decided I didn't want to develop on anything except for EOS.
Awesome. And right now you have this company called Digital Scarcity. Do you want to elaborate a little bit about what you do and where you're going with this and all the different projects you've had your hands in?
Yeah, sure, of course. So I've been involved in a number of different projects, and it was very just sort of ad hoc, I would say, just people that I had kind of come across in the community of EOS. And then recently, just over the last few months, I formalized that by creating my own organization called Digital Scarcity. And that just launched, like I said, in the last couple of months. And we're about a dozen, maybe a couple dozen people, loosely networked, that are pretty deep into the EOS community and the EOS ecosystem. And when projects pop up, we always tend to get together and work on them together. So there's a couple great UI developers, a couple great designers, some good branding folks. Really the only thing I do is smart contracts and lead the projects. But there are a lot of other great smart contract developers as well. So the goal for Digital Scarcity is really, just to keep me doing EOS and EOS only. And, I'm not looking to have more than 3 or 4 projects, at any given time. I may, over the course of the next several years, launch many dapps. In terms of what I'll be deeply involved in myself, I don't see it being more than a couple that are sort of my own projects that I'm just launching on behalf of someone else.
Awesome. And some of the different dapps you were on include EDNA, Eva. Is there another one?
So Eva is the one I first got started with. That's the ride-sharing app you're very familiar with. We're hoping to launch in Montreal next month in October, so super excited about that. Also, I did some work with Greg on EDNA. I did their staking algorithm that he launched just a week or 2 weeks ago. I'm also done some work with a DApp called Merriment, which is the founder there is out of San Diego, and it's an online social networking influencer network that rewards the influencer directly for the impact that they can have on their audience.
Okay.
An answer to some of the some of the inequities that occur with Facebook and YouTube, where you have Silicon Valley companies taking so much of the share of the influencer's audience. This really gives it back to the influencer. So that's a great project. I'm also just now getting started with 2 new projects from Australia. One of them is VMeow, which is a pet and veterinarian management project, and one called Live and Signed, which is just getting started with that project. But that one will feature live online performances and ticketing for those performances and charging tickets for those performances, and again directly rewarding their performance. I'll tell you one other project that I'm getting involved with. This one is perhaps the one I'm most excited about, is called GG Rocket, and that project is based off of it's selling gaming assets across different games. So you may have a player that is rewarded a series of different assets in World of Warcraft,
right?
Potions and armors and swords. And I'm not a player myself, but I've seen how that economy can work.
Right.
And then those can be sold to other players using cryptocurrency, and the trades can be fair. There's a lot of fraud in that industry, a lot of issues with trusting who you're buying it from or who you're selling it to. So a lot of that can be facilitated on the blockchain. So just getting started with that team as well.
Awesome. And today we're going to go over one of your cool projects. It's called EOS Names, and I'm going to share my screen with y'all. Let me find it. And we're going to do a little walkthrough and basically showcase what you've done here with one of your other colleagues, Raphael.
Yeah.
So why don't you give us an overview of EOS Names? And it's basically like a marketplace for different account names, but you do it all within EOS code, so it's safe for one person to transfer it to another, right?
That's right. So it's a marketplace for names that is 100% decentralized and 100% trustless. So you don't have to worry about any corruption from either the perspective of the buyer or the seller. Both roles are 100% protected by the logic that's in the smart contract.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, there's some pretty cool names over here. Yum, 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 yum.
Yeah. Yeah, you mentioned Raphael. He did all of the client work. So I think it's a beautiful layout. Definitely could not have done it without him. So big shout out to Raphael.
Yeah, definitely. And then the design was Max Infeld, right?
Yes, he did the logo.
Okay. Yeah, that's really nice.
Wow, it looks really good.
Yeah, so not everything's complete here, like the premium names.
Yeah, it does list the current premium names, but we don't allow bidding, or we don't have the feature yet for bidding on those premium names through our UI. We're currently working on.
Okay. So let's go through the process right now of selling an account. So yeah.
The first thing to make sure you have is you have Scatter Desktop installed.
Yeah, let me stop my share and then do it with the whole desktop. Yeah, that's it. All right, now you can see it.
Yeah, perfect.
So I would select an identity, and then from there I would be able to.
So you want to select the owner permission of the account you wish to sell.
Okay.
Yep, there you go. So that was, here you go, this is step number 2. this is where you actually approve the EOS names to be able to change your key so that we can secure the account that you're trying to sell. And that's to protect it for potential buyers.
Okay. And then this next part is seller account.
Yep, this is where the proceeds will go after someone purchases the account.
Okay, so I'll be using my DAPPCAST one. And then I can choose whatever amount I want. All right, so I use that, and then the price, and then gave it the keys. And so, quick question here: does the price that you put up, does that include the staking for the RAM and the mint? So how would it be best be calculated if you're looking to sell an account and at least want to get that base price back?
Yeah, that's a great question. So it does not include the small amount of RAM that you would need in order to post the record to the listings table. That's a great question. We should make that clear on here. I don't know the exact amount that is required, but I can do some research and post that out.
Right. So with the resources that were staked by that owner account, that the account that initially created that, would that be given back to that account?
Yep. Oh yeah. Yeah. It'll all be. So it doesn't save any data over the long term. Once you either delist or sell your account, all the records associated with this account will be erased from the data store, from the smart contract, and that means that you will get all of your RAM back after the transaction.
Awesome. Awesome. Very cool.
Yeah.
All right, so I would accept it. And then press this, or it's already done?
Oh, yep, go ahead and click that button. That's the final step.
Okay. Okay. So let's go back over here to listing.
Uh-oh, let's see, you got an error message. I can't read it because of the screen is in the way, but my guess is you're going to have to try that again. Yeah, it's, what does it say, expired transaction?
I'll do a snag it real quick.
Okay.
And send that over to you. All right, so I'll save that later.
Yeah, probably. Okay, try it again here. There you go. That went through.
Okay. Is that something from your end? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Cool.
There it is. Yeah, I get an alert every time someone posts a listing, and you know, Scatter Desktop's an amazing piece of software, but it is still in beta, I believe, or either just came off of beta. So it's still, you have to be patient through a couple of the hiccups, but it got it out there.
Awesome, very cool. Well, it's amazing. And then you can unlist your account by just going over here.
Yep.
And
you'll get you know, all of your RAM back, and it'll erase that record from the listings table.
Right, that's the one I should have put, right?
Yep, it's listing number 18. What we should do is update that to list not just the listing ID,
right,
but also list the name of the account. We should add that to make it more clear.
So real quick, when you unlist the account, you're unlisting the one that's selling it, the seller? From the seller account you choose?
Yes. Okay. That's the one, right? You don't have, right now, you don't have permission to the account that you listed for sale, because you granted, you sort of gave the smart contract, the intermediary, the permission to manage that account for you. That's what protects the buyer, so that you don't have people posting or listing accounts and then continuing to do trades of tokens within that account,
right?
Unbeknownst to the buyer. So, but yeah, there you go. So you're unlisted now.
Awesome. Yeah.
All of your RAM would have been restored. There would be some small amount of CPU, I imagine, that would have been used, but I'll try to dig up what those metrics would be.
Awesome. That was really cool. I like this idea. Do you have any other, well, you don't have to say them here, but do you have any other cool service ideas that you're building up?
Yeah, I mean, this was one, Raphael and I, wanted to provide a service to the community, and that's really why we built this. We saw that there was a need we saw a lot of people buying a lot of names.
Right.
And, we also saw that the premium names were selling for really high amounts, and so we said, wow, there is some economy here that people are looking for. So that's kind of why we created it. We also thought that accounts are probably one of the safest ways to transfer assets on the network. So you may have it's not just the value of the name itself, but it's everything that account owns.
Yeah.
All the tokens, and in the future other assets, or access to certain parameters in a given game. I mean, there could be the sky's the limit in terms of what can be owned by that account, and by changing the keys over to someone new is potentially one of the safest ways, I imagine, the safest way to transition that account. But yeah, we're going to add some additional features, an auction, so that it's not just a black and white list price, so people can list their accounts for an auction. We want to allow people to do the bidding on the premium names as well. So several sites are already providing that capability. And maybe set up some new accounts. But we're kind of looking for a lot of feedback from the community as well. We have a Telegram channel that's pretty active, and we're really starting to put our ear to the ground and see what makes sense to the community.
Yeah, I'm going to showcase that channel right here. Let me find it. They just type it in.
Large universe of channels you have there.
Too many. All right, here it is. It's much better. Yeah, it's EOS Names. You can find it at. I guess you need to do like an outside link. Oh
yeah. Okay, we'll do that, and I'll get it to you. Maybe you can put it in the notes.
Yeah, I'll put it in the show notes here. And yeah, it's pretty big. It's only compatible right now with Scatter Desktop. Is that correct?
That's right. The Scatter Chrome plugin has really been deprecated for good reason. Chrome has some security problems with its extension architecture, and the architect for Scatter has really deprecated. Yeah, you see here on their site, they don't even offer it as a download anymore.
No, they don't.
So yeah, I encourage all your listeners to make sure, all your audience, to go ahead, and if you're using the Scatter Chrome plugin, make sure you uninstall that and replace it with Scatter Desktop right away.
Yeah, and one of the sites that is premium names is over here. It's
yep.
Where's that at? It's EOSToolkit.io. It's a creation by Jenner EOS, which is a block producer. Where can you find that?
Oh, it's under. Where is that? Good question. I'm not sure, actually. You're right, though. It used to be out here.
Yeah. It's somewhere. But anyway, let me detach. Yeah, it's usually here, but it's not very, how do I say it?
They have too many features. It's hard to access it.
Yeah, because they don't even have the premium names that are up there currently on the bid list, and the bid list, it takes you to EOS Park or something like that, where it shows you the different names.
Oh, got it.
So it's just simple stuff like that. But well, that's about. So the main place people can reach you is how?
Telegram. Telegram, I'm very active, like everyone in the EOS community. I'm at Gravitt12, G-R-A-V as in Victor, I-T-T, 12, the number's 12, on Telegram.
Right.
Or you can reach me on email at max@digitalscarcity.io.
Awesome. And you have a pretty wicked website over at digitalscarcity.io, and you usually get back with people very, very quickly. So I highly recommend working with Max here if you have a DApp. And that's it for the DAPPCAST. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Cool. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Max. And now for a brief message from our sponsor, blockchaineducators.org.
Welcome to Blockchain Educators online user certification course. This is a general survey of all topics related to blockchain technology. We will also explore some of the most popular blockchains like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Hyperledger, Stellar, Ripple, Microsoft's Azure, some of the newest technologies like EOS by Block.one and the NEM blockchain. This course contains a large number of instructor-led slides. Every slide has its own audio recording to walk you through the material. Afterwards, you can review the extensive glossary, which is set up in flashcard style to aid in your memorization. At the end of the lessons and glossary, there is a quiz to test your knowledge and prepare for the final exam. All questions in the exam are multiple choice, and you get 2 tries. The minimum passing score is 80%. Upon completion of the course materials and receiving passing scores on the quiz and exam, you will receive a course completion certificate and supporting documentation. Good luck. We hope you enjoy the course, and thank you again for choosing Blockchain Educators.